it's been that way for ever since last year, I believe. Going back to the AFC Championship game, we killed ourselves. Chiefs game, the opener, we killed ourselves. Raiders, we killed ourselves. And today, same thing. It's just like we can't be beating ourselves in these type of games. We got to find a way to fix that.
In the past, when the Baltimore Ravens would lose, all fingers were pointed at quarterback Lamar Jackson. But it seems like there's a shift happening, and maybe the national sports media is becoming more aware of what Ravens Nation has been saying for several years now. We discuss next on the GM. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, is national sports media catching on to the problems with John Harbaugh and the coaching? Let's talk. In the past, Lamar Jackson would be 100% responsible for every rise and fall of the Baltimore Ravens, especially if the Ravens lost. All fingers would be pointed at Lamar Jackson, whether he didn't run enough, he didn't throw enough, he had the ball stripped out of his hand, he had an interception. Whatever it was, when the Ravens would fall short, it was Lamar Jackson's fault. And maybe some of that was true when he had to carry, or has had to carry, the entire load for this team, especially in the 2024 season. But those of us who are entrenched and engaged with the Baltimore Ravens from day to day, week to week, month to month, season to season, we've been noticing something going on with John Harbaugh and this coaching staff. In fact, many of you have been saying as of late that he should have been gone even before Lamar Jackson got to Baltimore. Here's the truth. We're not hating on the man. We're hating on the performance. That's just the truth. Any team who begins to recognize that, man, this guy we have at quarterback is special. This defense that we've had up until this season has been special. And we haven't even come close to sniffing a Super Bowl. Last year's AFC Championship loss was not close, because some of the same things that had plagued last season plagued us in the AFC Championship, and they still plague us up until today. And that thing has been coaching, or the missteps in our coaching. And now I think that national sports media are now taking those same fingers that once was pointed at Lamar Jackson, and they're now beginning to point them towards John Harbaugh and this coaching staff. Let's take a listen.
I've been riding with the Ravens for 2 years. Picked them to win last year's Super Bowl. They let me down. Picked them to win this year's Super Bowl. There's growing evidence that they might let a brother down. I didn't plan on saying this. I didn't plan on going here. But I've been hinting at it for the past several weeks, maybe even longer. I'm going to try to say this as gently. I'm going to try to let them down as gently as possible.
No way.
The Ravens are not a smart football team. I'm not panicked. Panicked is too strong of a word. Okay. I'm concerned, worried, fretful, on edge. Yeah, I'm all that, but I'm not panicked, all right? I'm just gonna say it. They look like a team that is not smart or disciplined every single week. And I always watch them, obviously. But since I've been picking them, I'm really zeroed in on them. And I like John Harbaugh, and he's a Super Bowl winning coach. They don't look well coached.
Column, you got penalties, mistakes, missed opportunities for Baltimore. That's fine. Then you have a half a dozen field goals for Chris Boswell and Pittsburgh. Can you imagine that this is the way this is going to look? Like the Steelers said, Ravens, come to our town, come to our dark cave, and welcome you in, and we're going to beat you any way that we decide, Peter, how to do it. And they did so against the Ravens.
Yeah, look, the Steelers were not looking like a Super Bowl champion either in this game. I think Russell Wilson went 2 of 7 in the red zone, threw a horrible interception. The Ravens just happened to be worse. The Ravens have issues. You watch those highlights, all right, they got a chance at the end to do it. All the little things that the Ravens used to do right, they're doing wrong. Like Justin Tucker missing these kicks here. Little things like that, the fans don't see, but you make decision choices too. This is a close one-score game throughout the game. Derrick Henry only touched the ball 13 times. All season they've been awful in the defensive backfield. This play here, right off the face mask. And then the 2-point conversion, Kyle, you see Aguilar screaming at someone beforehand. This was after a timeout where it looked like they were going to do a jump pass.
Yeah.
They didn't get a chance to do it. The Ravens didn't deserve to win this game, and they don't deserve to be discussed like Super Bowl contenders. When they win in shootouts 36-35 against the Bengals, we celebrate Lamar as the MVP, and we're doing Steph Curry, cut-ups and stuff. But they're a mediocre team right now.
Yeah, when you listen to the commentary, when you hear Chris Broussard talk about how the Ravens don't seem to be a well-coached team, they seem to be not smart, that speaks to coaching, and he said as much. When you listen to the clip with the lady and the two gentlemen talking about the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers game, and they seem to indicate, hey, the Pittsburgh does what they want to do with the Baltimore Ravens. But to be honest, can't even be offended because the record would say that the Steelers own the Ravens at this point, especially as they've been 1-8 in the last 9 matchups. But like I said, when the Ravens would lose, you're pointing at Lamar Jackson. But now I think that we're seeing the tide turn a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of a groundswell calling into question the Baltimore Ravens coaching, their game planning, their preparation, their intelligence, and maybe even a little bit of their work ethic. But this last clip kind of speaks to it all.
How the hell does Derrick Henry have 13 touches? How the hell does Derrick Henry have 13 touches? Why did you bring him here? Why? Like in games like this, you know it's not going to be some high flying circus. This is the biggest rivalry in the NFL. This is why you bring Derrick Henry in. For games like this, it's supposed to be like a just knock him out type of game. 13 touches? What is Todd Monken doing? The same Todd Monken in the AFC Championship game that didn't run the football, try to get too cute, and what happened again? You tried to get too cute in the game against your arch rivals in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it cost you. It cost you.
Imagine that. Didn't I warn about that yesterday?
So we have it. Let me tell everyone, I'll set the table for you. We have a dinner every Saturday night where we prepare for Sunday NFL Countdown. And both of these two gentlemen, Teddy Bruschi and Rex Hugh, said this game is the reason you go out and get Derrick Henry, and he gets 13 carries.
Yeah, and I said, give him the ball at least 25 times in this game.
25 was the number. Yeah, I
was at least 25 times, and then let's see what the hell happens. And we did, you're right. We saw it in that championship game. They stopped running the football. They had like 6 carries to running back. Todd Monken, man, congratulations. You know, this guy should be a head coach. Why? Hell, be lucky you're an offensive coordinator. Everybody in the world knows you should run the damn football with Derrick Henry, especially in this. This is a physical game. This is not going to be a high-scoring game.
This is a field goal game. Yeah.
I'm going to give it to a dude that weighs 260 pounds, runs a 4.3 or whatever the hell it is, and I can give him the ball. By the way, he gets better as the game goes on. Do you realize he doesn't get started until he has 15 carries? Get him going. Run the damn football. I don't care if you run it. You get 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, 1 yard. Yeah, now it's 20. Guess what? When that safety's sitting back going, oh, damn, there goes my shoulder.
People start making business.
They absolutely do. And in the fourth quarter, in a game like this is when you take and by the way, it's criminal. He's not on the field for a 2-point play.
Yeah, when you hear Rex Ryan and Damien Woody talk about the Baltimore Ravens and talk about the injustice, the crime of not giving Derrick Henry more touches, when they question, well, why did you even bring him here? If you're not going to use the guy, they make the point to note that Derrick Henry gets better as a game goes on. They make many, many points that us as a fan base have made, right? You see them before, right? They would make a little bit of commentary about the Ravens coaching and their decisions, but they would get right back to pointing at Lamar Jackson. But in that whole segment, you only heard them talk about the travesty of the coaching decisions. You even hear Rex Ryan take the Baltimore Ravens to task, specifically Todd Monken, for the personnel, the play calling, the scheme, the situation, the recognition of the game scenario. All of those things he took Todd Monken to task. And he even questioned, hey, he wants to be a head coach, but he better be glad he's an offensive coordinator. And he may be right, because Todd Monken has had several opportunities to kind of raise his stock to get into a head coaching position. And in fact, he probably thought he was going to catapult off of Lamar Jackson's success as he is the OC of this offense. You see, you got to remember, he was in Cleveland and he was in Tampa, and now he's in Baltimore, and he's never had the level of success, especially offensively, as he's had with Lamar Jackson. But again, I believe that success is based on Lamar Jackson's overall talent mixed in now with some Derrick Henry and some improved playmaking by the wide receivers and tight ends, right? And so I am excited to see that the national sports media is having the wool pulled from their eyes so they can now see this continued pattern of coaching malpractice. Looking at the AFC Championship, this is all in a calendar year. The AFC Championship, the game 1, the game 2, the game against Cleveland, the game against Pittsburgh. They're now able to see and talk about how much of an injustice this was. And so it sounds like Harbaugh's seat may heat up a little more, especially when the voice of the media begins to sound very similar to the voice of the Ravens fan base. Now, let me be clear before I get out of here. I'm not wanting John Harbaugh's exit to be at the full detriment of the Ravens overall. We're just needing a change. And it is time for the administration of the Ravens to accept that. That's all. So listen, I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.